Home Coach, sponsored by Snyder HVAC, Plumbing and Electric.
There are times when you can go the DIY route, but it's important to know when to call in the pros. Jimmy Humphries with Snyder Air Conditioning, Plumbing and Electric is joining us now. Once again, welcome back to First Coast Living.
Thank you. Great to be here.
And we're talking about electrical panels. You have a couple here, but before we get to that, what is the function exactly of an electrical panel, and where do we find them in our homes generally?
Normally, electrical panels will be in your garage or hallway. It'll be a gray box normally, unless it's been painted. It has a hinge cover on it. It is where your main service comes into the house, feeds into your main breaker, and then you have individual branch circuit breakers which branch off to your lights, plugs, air conditioning, hot water heater. What it does is it makes it smaller so that each circuit can be set to the amperage it needs to be, and that's what the circuit breakers are for.
So then what causes the power to trip or shut off altogether?
Circuit breakers are designed with two functions. They have an overcurrent protection, which means if you draw too many amps, have too much stuff plugged in, or if they get overheated, they have a thermal trip in them. So either one of those goes out, that makes it trip, which makes it better than the fuses because they're able to be reset and don't have to be replaced.
So it's a safety feature though?
Exactly, yes ma'am.
Okay, so how can you tell if your panel is out of date? I mean, is that something that we could tell just by looking at it?
You can. Normally panels run a life source of about 20 to 25 years.
Oh, okay.
That's why I brought some of these couple examples I have here. There is some older panels that have lost their UL listing because the breakers do not trip the way they're supposed to, which makes them a hazard to have in your house.
And insurance companies don't want to cover that, right?
Insurance companies find out you have them, they will cancel you or will not renew you. That's exactly right. So,
okay, so what should we be looking out for then?
Okay, well, I brought a couple of these right here. This right here is a Federal Pacific panel. If you'll notice, we don't have the cover, but the breakers, they have red labels on them right here. That's what you'll find when you open your door. You'll see, because you'll be able to see these numbers and the red labels. These is one that have lost their UL listing. This is one, and I mean, I'm talking 20 years ago, so it's really something that's been going around. This is one, again, the door will be on it. You can open the door and you'll see it in the label on the door to have Federal Pacific or FPE. You have that one, that's one.
Okay.
Then we have another one right here. This is a Zinsco panel. This happens to be the only panel that's made for residential use right here that would have a single line of breakers. You see,
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Right. It will say Sylvania or Zinsco. There's a couple other ones, Challenger and then one other, but this kind of stuff is the kind of things that insurance companies look at, and it's also a safety feature or a factor, I should say, for your house, because that is something that if these breakers don't trip right, then it could be a real hazard for you. That's serious.
So really, when you're looking to see if your panel needs an upgrade, it's more of how long it's been.
Yes, ma'am.
In your home?
Breakers normally, even standard breakers, they're only good for 20 to 25 years.
Right.
Even if they're a breaker that has not lost their UL listing, they would need to be probably either refurbished or tightened, or a lot of times just all out replaced. We also do panel rejuvenations for the same thing.
And so if somebody does need an upgrade, I mean, other than a safety feature, that's like the biggest thing for us. Are there other benefits of upgrading?
I would say upgrading to something newer. You can have a panel that's got good tight connections on your service where it comes into the main breakers and stuff, but where the bus bars and stuff, where the breakers tie into it, is something that you want to have a professional check everything, make sure that it's good and tight. A lot of people that DIY, that's good stuff, but this kind of stuff, if you don't know what you're doing, you really need to have a professional work on this. And this is something that you can extend the life of your panel. If you do a panel rejuvenation with new breakers and connections, you get another 20, 25 years out of it.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, if someone's interested in having it serviced or looked at, how can they get in touch?
You just need to call. We have our number is a 6410600 or SnyderAC.com. Give us a call and a live person to answer the phone.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for helping us stay safe.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. Pleasure being here.
And if you'd like to see this segment again, just head to our website at firstcoastliving.net.